Do you want to send thousands of requests to a website without getting blocked? That can be achieved using residential proxies. Residential proxies are the type of proxies that routes proxy users' web requests through residential IP addresses of real devices provided by Internet Service Providers, ISP. Because the request reaches websites through residential IP addresses, they are considered legitimate and not suspected to request coming through a proxy. The proxy market had been proliferating with a lot of residential proxies, so it becomes difficult to make a buying decision. This might lead you to pay for a residential proxy provider that does not meet up with the requirements or one that is just too expensive for the service it renders. So, what are the best residential proxies? With this list of the top 10 residential proxies, you should make a buying decision that fits perfectly with your requirements. 1. Brightdata. Brightdata has over 72 plus million IP addresses of real devices distributed among over 200 countries and over 20,000 cities in the world. Interestingly, they have the fastest residential proxy service, research to our test. Brightdata, formerly Illuminati, is loved by many businesses including Fortune 500 companies, thanks to the legitimacy of their IP addresses. Unlike other residential proxy providers, Brightdata has sought the consent of owners of the IP addresses they use. One of the ways they get this consent is through their free VPN service known as OLA VPN. Users of this VPN service have to agree to share their internet connection and IP addresses before they are allowed to use the free VPN service. Brightdata is not the cheapest option out there, especially if you stick to their starter plan that sells at $500, which consists of 40 gigabytes at a price of $12.50 each. However, as you subscribe to higher bandwidth plans, the prices reduce drastically. One interesting thing about their subscription is that you are offered a 7 days free trial without any form of a refund after payment. Pros of Brightdata. Fastest residential proxies in terms of speed. Over 72 plus million IP addresses. Has IP addresses in all countries of the world and over 20,000 cities. Secured and reliable. Used by Fortune 500 companies. Comprehensive FAQs page. Cons of Illuminati Brightdata. Not a cheaper option. Email support is slow. Limited bandwidth. 2. Smart Proxy. Smart Proxy is also one of the top residential proxy providers in the market. It has been around for some time now and is among the favorite residential proxy networks in the proxy industry. Unlike the above residential proxy providers that, aside from providing residential proxy services, they offer other services, Smart Proxy is focused only on providing residential proxy services to their customers. Simply put, they are niched. They have a network of over 40 million residential IP addresses across 195 locations in the world. However, their IP addresses are country targeted. They only have 8 cities that you can target. With Smart Proxy, you can scale up your business and scrape any data you want from the internet. Thanks to their IP rotation technique and their pool of IP addresses, which prevents any suspicion that will lead to either blocking of IP addresses or the requests to solve CAPTCHAs. In terms of speed, they are kind of slow. However, they are secure and reliable with about 99% uptime. You can buy as small as 8 gigabytes in a month at a price of $80, making a gigabyte sells for $10. The per gigabyte price for their smallest plan is expensive than the prices of the ones listed above. Smart Proxy does not offer a free trial. However, you have the option of asking for a refund within 3 days of subscribing. Pros of Smart Proxy. Great customer support. One of the cheapest residential proxy services out there. Large IP pool and location coverage. Makes third-party integration possible. Cons of Smart Proxy. Slow internet speed. No free trial. Only 8 cities are available. 3. SOAKs. Next on our list of residential proxy providers that works is SOAKs. SOAKs proxies are elite proxies. They have over 5 million residential IPs, distributed across continents and nations. We have tested their proxies for a good number of use cases, and from our test result, SOAK's residential proxies are good for price monitoring, ad verification, web scraping, bulk account registration, and SEO. SOAK's proxies are high-performing proxies. They are fast and compatible with most of the popular websites on the internet. IP rotation is automatic, and geo-targeting is also supported. You can choose a specific location at the time of paying for the proxies. To have access to all location proxies, you will have to pay more. In terms of the payment plan, they start at $99/8 GB with 300 ports, and you can test it for $1.99. Pros of SOAKs: excellent location support, flexible payment plans, detailed geo-targeting options provided. Good for a good number of use cases. Cons of SOAKs: expensive pricing. No free trial option, $1.99 for 100 megabytes. 4. Shifter. Shifter is one of the 10 top residential proxy providers in the market. This proxy service seems different from the other ones discussed above. Instead of using the name residential proxies, it uses the name back-connect proxies, which in many aspects is just a modified version of residential proxies. Unlike the ones discussed above that are priced based on bandwidth, Shifter back-connect proxies are sold by port. One unique thing about Shifter is that all their residential IP addresses are located in the United States. In terms of price, the lowest amount you can pay is $124.99, and comes packaged with 10 ports, making each port cost about $12.50. However, since the service is sold based on bandwidth, Shifter back-connect proxies offer their subscribers unlimited bandwidth. For geo-targeting and accessing specific websites, you need the special back-connect port plan. They do not offer a free trial but have a 3 days money-back guarantee. They are slow in terms of speed, and their customer support can be said to be below average, even though they have different means that you can use to reach their team. Their proxies aren't smart enough to evade notice by some strict websites. Pros of Shifter: 3 days money-back guarantee, unlimited bandwidth, the sizable pool of IP addresses. Cons of Shifter: expensive compared to the services they render. They are sometimes blocked by some smart websites. No free trial. 5. Proxy Empire. Proxy Empire is a relatively new proxy provider, and they are rising fast. They offer over 4 million IPs in their residential proxy pool and support ISP geo-targeting. Their proxies are cheap, but ethically sourced, which is why they are trusted by their users. Up to 99.7% uptime for powerful IP rotating capabilities. Unlimited concurrent link performance allows you to get things done quickly and stop worrying about being IP banned. Their proxy setup is also available for novices to complete in minutes, which is very convenient. Its best feature is that if you don't use all the data in your purchase plan that month, you can roll it over to the next month and continue using it again. This innovation makes it stand out from many other merchants. If you are a small individual user, I believe this will be very absorbing for you. Proxy Empire starts at $45/3 GB and also has a variety of payment options, such as cryptocurrency, credit cards, PayPal, and bank wire transfers. Of course, a reliable proxy provider that provides high-quality proxies and excellent customer support is also indispensable. Proxy Empire is constantly improving in this area and currently offers live chat, email, and Skype/Telegram services for all its customers. Pros of Proxy Empire: allowed rollover data, cheap residential proxies, easy to set up, good customer support. Cons of Proxy Empire: relatively small residential IP pool, average speed. 6. Proxy Cheap. Proxy Cheap provides some of the cheapest working residential proxies in the market. Proxy Cheap has over 6 million residential IPs around the world. It supports about 127 countries. Proxy Cheap has session proxies that will maintain the same IP and session for a period of time before changing. If you are looking for high-rotating proxies that change IP after every request, you can also get them from Proxy Cheap. Proxy Cheap claims to provide the best value for the money. And if you look at its pricing, you will agree with this to some extent, as its proxies are cheap and come with no monetary commitment. This means that you can buy as small as 1 GB of bandwidth. However, the real deal comes when you buy more bandwidth, as the price per gigabyte can go down to $3. Pros of Proxy Cheap: very cheap. Good location coverage. Does not have a minimum monthly commitment. Cons of Proxy Cheap: does not provide a refund. Not so good customer support. Relatively small residential IP pool. 7. Rayabyte. Rayabyte is formerly known as Blazing SEO and can be said to be one of the best residential proxies, as it focuses more on providing its users with real IP provided by ISP. Rayabyte gives its users access to a proxy pool with over 10 million IP addresses around the globe. This not only provides you with a large pool of IP addresses to use, but also provides you with a good number of locations from which you can appear to access the internet. This makes it good for accessing geolocation data you might be restricted from accessing. What you stand to get using Rayabyte includes their large IP pool, everlasting threads, avoid captchas, best pricing, with 1 GB free trial, ethics sourced, no country restrictions. In case of any complaint and partnerships, they offer 24/7 live support. Its use cases include brand protection, travel aggression, SEO monitoring, e-commerce, price aggression, market research, and ad technology. 8. Webshare. Webshare is known for its cheap data center proxies that are not a match to what is obtainable from premium providers. For their residential proxies, you get to enjoy unlimited bandwidth with lots of thread support, depending on the package you subscribe to. The minimum for using residential proxies from Webshare is $105, making it not as affordable as their data center counterparts. For this service, what you are basically buying are residential IPs, as you can choose the ISP of the proxy you are getting. The proxies are static and proxies unlike what you get from the other providers. This makes them a better proxy service for account management than the other proxy providers, since the proxies you get are dedicated proxies meant for only your usage. They are also reliable and undetectable as with the other residential proxies. 9. Proxy. Are you looking for a residential proxy service that allows up to 1K concurrent connections? Then the Proxy service is here for you. This proxy service is one of the best residential proxies in the market that allows users to create their projects. It gives users access to change their proxies without being blocked by websites, thanks to their IP rotation system. This service has got proxies from around the globe, giving users access to over 8 million IP addresses from more than 190 countries in the world. You need not worry about getting access to geo-targeted content with this proxy service. Interestingly, their pricing is also cheap and affordable, starting from $60 per month with support for a 3-day trial plan of 100 megabytes at $1.99. As with most of the other residential proxies, you will see that the proxies offered by Proxy come with limited bandwidth. 10. Appify. Appify is a web automation platform with support for bots and proxies. The Appify proxy service is a popular multi-purpose HTTP proxy service that is scalable and good for web scraping and other forms of automation. While the proxies are good for the Appify platform, you can use them on other platforms and software as well. Their proxies are built for affordability and, as such, provide access to a combined pool of data center and residential IP pools, effectively reducing cost. For some kind of web scraping task, you will need a mix of data center and residential proxies to save cost, and that is where the Appify proxies come in. They make use of machine learning to change and select accurate IP addresses for websites. Some websites will use residential proxies, especially websites with a strict anti-spam system for detecting proxies. For the less strict websites, they will use data center proxies. This will help you save money. Interestingly, it is quite effective at choosing the best proxies. You can see the service as essentially a rotating proxy service for web automation and web scraping. These are the best residential proxies we tested and recommended. You can find them by clicking the link in the video below.